How do we acknowledge and give thanks for the good fortune in our lives? For joyful moments, for successes, for our general well-being, or for our relative privilege and comfort? How do we do so in a way that also acknowledges where we've been, the sacrifices and the struggles that have been made in the past so that we have what we have today? How do we do so in a way that also recognizes the fragility of that good fortune and that not everyone may have the same access to it? We actually have a template for this in our Torah portion this week. In our calendar, we're a bit more than halfway through the month of Elul, our month of introspection and reflection on the past year. Busy month for your clergy and your synagogue administrators. A month of introspection and reflection on the past year, of taking account of ourselves and our souls as we prepare for the high holy days. The moon is full and the work is feeling more urgent. And what comes along at this time each year but this Torah portion, Ki Tavo, literally, Theo, when you come into the land that God is giving you, which opens with the ritual for bringing the first fruits harvested in the land of Israel as an offering to God. Here is what the ritual looks like. It says, when you come into the land that the eternal your God is about to give you as an inheritance, and you take hold of it and dwell in it, you shall take from the first yield all of the fruit of the soil that you will bring from your land with the eternal your God, that the eternal your God is about to give you. And you shall put it in a basket and go to the place that the eternal your God chooses to make God's name dwell. And you shall come to the priest, and you shall say to him, I announce today to the eternal your God that I have come into the land that the eternal swore to our fathers to give us. And the priest shall take the basket from your hand and lay it down before the altar of the eternal your God. And you shall speak out and say before the eternal your God, my father was a fugitive Aramean. He went down to Egypt, and he sojourned there with a few people. And he became there a great and mighty and multitudinous nation. And the Egyptians did evil to us and abused us and set upon us hard labor. And we cried out to the eternal our God, God of our fathers, and the eternal heard our voice and saw our abuse and our trouble and our oppression. And the eternal brought us out from Egypt with a strong hand and an outstretched arm, and with great terror and with great signs and wonders. And God brought us to this place and gave us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey. And now look, I have brought the first yield of the fruit of the soil that you gave me, eternal. And you shall lay it down before the eternal your God, and you shall bow before the eternal your God, and you shall rejoice in all the bounty that the eternal your God has given you and your household, you and the Levite and the sojourner who is in your midst. The central idea here is that the Israelites are meant to bring their very best, the literal fruits of their hard work, a symbol of the partnership between humans and God, or the forces of the natural world. Think about it. A skilled farmer might know when the conditions are right for planting and sowing seeds. A farmer might know when to water and when to let their field rest, how to make sure that the soil contains the proper nutrients for whatever crop they're growing, how to pull weeds and control for invasive pests. But there's also so much that is beyond the farmer's control, particularly in the days of the Bible. The temperature, the rainfall, the balance of cloud cover and sun. In the end, some measure of faith is required in the simple act of planting a seed. Faith and hope that things will work out, that the seeds will grow and yield a plentiful crop. And so it makes sense that as the Israelites prepare to enter this new land, this ritual of bringing the first fruits gains prominence as the way in which they demonstrate their gratitude, giving thanks to this force they call God, an idea that encompasses everything that is beyond their control. So too for us, as we engage in harvesting the fruit of our lives, in the words of poet Marge Piercy. In this season, how do we engage in the necessary work so that we bring our best selves into the holidays this year? The ritual of the first fruits has two important elements. They may offer us some instruction in this moment. First, the importance of recognizing where our control over some things begins and ends. And second, the importance of recognizing the story of our lives and how we came to be where we are. As Rabbi Shira Milgram teaches, this ritual is, in part, an action of storytelling in prayer. She explains, this is certainly not a prayer in any conventional sense. It doesn't beseech God, it doesn't ask for anything, praise anything, no hallelujahs or blessings of the Lord. It's just a story, a simple story. When you harvest your crops, put the first fruits of your harvest in a basket and place it on the altar and recite this prayer. Tell this story. This is where I come from. This is where I've been. This is why I'm here. And so I offer you these first fruits of my harvest. The essential prayer, teaches Rabbi Milgram, the center of Jewish spiritual life is to tell a story. It is both a story of our people and a story of myself, a story told in the first person. I deeply believe that we are each alive for a reason. We each have a story to tell, the story of why we are here. At the center of our lives is a spiritual core. But the story isn't everything. After we have offered our basket of first fruits and recited our story, the Torah continues, and you shall enjoy together with the family of the Levite and the stranger in your midst all the bounty that the eternal your God has bestowed upon you and your household. After you have recited your story, teaches Rabbi Milgram, connect with gratitude. Find reasons for joy and find those who need help and share from your bounty. As Rabbi Milgram suggests, we ground our appreciation of our good fortune, of our opportunity in the story of all those who came before us. We recognize the work, the history, the challenges overcome so that we can enjoy these fruits today, even if there are things with which we struggle, especially if there are things with which we struggle. We can find a sense of hope and inspiration in how those who came before us faced hardship and difficulties, that they made it through, and perhaps so too can we. We carry with us their faith and hope in a better future. As we near the days of awe, may we continue to be open to deep reflection, to doing the work of teshuvah, and tending with care to ourselves and our relationships, so that we can approach the new year from a place of gratitude for the gifts that we have. As we engage in this holy work, may we find the best parts of ourselves and celebrate them. As we come together on Rosh Hashanah, having invested in this work, may we bring our best selves back into this space. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.